Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Matt coming with another message of daily edification of the scriptures brought to you through the spirit and power of Yahawahshi. All right. I want to address something today about our master, Yahawahshi. And just for the record, some of y'all say that he's our big brother. Yeah, he is, but he's our master too. He's our father as well. I'm going to tell you why. Because he was Adam. We all come from him. He was the first made. So we all come through his seed. So he's our father as well. Just so you know. All right. He did exist. He does exist. All right. And I had just a question for clarification about Yahawahshi, because see, this is what happens when you have a demon that sows doubt. Sometimes it takes hold. So that's why I have to always be on my grind, man. I have to always be on that to be sure to eradicate any falsehood, any false doctrine. I'm gonna protect this channel no matter what. All right, it's my responsibility. So yeah, many times you might hear the same thing over and over. That's why it's called preaching. All right, you say the same thing over and over. Like I told some of y'all before, sometimes there's somebody coming on here that's new that never heard some of the things that you guys have been privy to. All right, so we're gonna go through it one more again, because of course we got a booty boy on here that makes it abundantly clear and keeps trying to drive home the fact Yahawahshi didn't exist, Yahawahshi didn't this, Yahawahshi didn't that, you know, the New Testament is plagiarized. You know, if you keep hearing that over and over, all right, sometimes it could take hold. It's not going to take hold of me or pretty much 99% of everybody on here. But if we got somebody new, we got to protect them too. So this, once again, another rock to crack you in the head, you Pharisees and Sadducees on here. All right, we're going to prove once again that Yahawahshi is alive and well, and that the New Testament was not plagiarized. All right, we're going to go to Revelation chapter 19. All right, and we're going to begin at verse 11. All right. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. Verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew, but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Powers. Verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, and with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty powers. Verse 16. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come, gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power, that ye may eat the flesh of kings and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So, this no doubt is talking about Yahawahshi, the one you curse and blaspheme. Right? So, it's what the scriptures say, study to show thyself approved unto the powers of workmen that needed not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So, I guess the Apocrypha's lying too, huh? Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13. See what it says. It says, and it came to pass, after 7 days I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that had moved all the ways thereof, and I beheld, and lo, that man, did y'all hear that? That man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him, and whensoever the voice went out from his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But behold, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. This is no doubt a chariot, a big oversized ship, huge. He said he looked around to see what mountain he carved it out of. All right? So, who is this? King David? I think not. Pick it up in verse 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. Well, but I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So Yahawahshi is going to put a spirit on them to fight, even though they scared to death. All right? Verse 8. Again. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid. They're going to come against him when he come back, man. And yet durst fight. All right? And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it were, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So, I told you these chariots that Yahawahshi has, they're weaponized. And when this multitude comes against him, they're going to get wiped out, man. And ain't going to be nothing left but smoke and dust. All right? So, is this King David? I think not. This is for your edification. All right, body? Yahawahshi is alive, and he is coming back. All right? Let's go to, y'all need to get one of these apocryphas, man. I'm telling you. All right? Let's go to, you know what? Let's just continue. That's all right. 2nd Ezra 13. Pick it up in verse 12. Afterward I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry. Some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning. and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of the dream. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days. In those days, all right? It's talking about coming up. Still hasn't happened yet, all right? And much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now I understand. The things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them, and to those that are left behind. Therefore are they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Yet is it easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, the interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open unto thee the thing that thou hast required. Verse 22, whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time have kept himself. Y'all hear that? That shows that there's regeneration and that we do live in different time zones. Hear that? Verse 22. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time hath kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision, whereas thou sawest a man coming up from the midst of the sea. The same is he whom the power, the highest, have kept a great season. So it's not the Most High himself. It's somebody he's kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed thee before. And then shall my son be declared. My son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another. And in an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands. And this my son. Who is that? Verse 37, 2 Ezra 13. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and torments, wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor, by the law which is like unto fire. You hear that? I told you. Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. All right? Yahawahshi is his son. Read it in wheat, Pharisees. It's the one kept for a season. Oh, I ain't finished now. 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 39. And whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh the king of Assyria led away. This is the northern kingdom. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and he held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years. They dwelt there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within thy borders. Now when he destroyed the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. And then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Lord, that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, like as thou canst neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon the earth see my son, or those that be with him. But in the daytime, this is the interpretation of the dream which thou sawest, and whereby thou only art here lighted. For thou hast forsaken thy own way, and applied thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother. And therefore have I showed thee the treasures of the highest. After the other 3 days will I speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. All right. So, showed you in the 66 books in Revelations, and I also showed you right here in the Apocrypha that it matches. All right. It all matches. So the Apocrypha talks about the Son of the Most High. All right. So to you out there that are having any type of doubts, yeah, Yahawahshi exists, and he's been declared already. All right. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15, starting at verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. These words are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All right. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So, we're being brought into that time right now. All right? All you Pharisees have woken up to shame and everlasting contempt. Yes, you did. You and the rest of your 2/3 buddies. All right? Let's keep reading. Verse 6 in 2nd Ezra chapter 15. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, thus said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I allow them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not allow them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague, and punishment the power shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for the seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and the swords in their hands. Let me go back up right here. What did it just say in verse 13? They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. What happened in Texas just now? Look at all this extreme weather going on over here in Egypt. Y'all see that? Trucks sliding into each other. All right, it's already going down. One nation shall stand up, one people standing up to fight against another. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, the Proud Boys. They just took over the damn Capitol. All right, it's already happening. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to listen to this government. They're already not doing it. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. That means they're going to do what the fuck they want to do. Doing it now, right? 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. Ain't we covering our face with masks? Don't they have mandates on us now where you got to have all these restrictions trying to get on a plane? All right. No, they haven't banned it yet, but it's getting there. All right. Let's keep reading. Verse 18. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. And you know that's the modern day sword is the gun. And spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Behold, saith the powers, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east to Libanus, which is Lebanon, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them, to us, like as they yet this day do unto my chosen. They getting ready to make them, the 2/3 take the booyah, right? So-called Latinos, so-called blacks and Native Americans, right? They still doing that to us to this day. They're targeting the Israelites, all right, both woke and not woke, to take the booyah, right? Verse 21. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, so will I do also a recompense in their bosom. Thus saith the Lord powers, my right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire has gone forth from his wrath, and have consumed the foundations of the earth and the sinners, like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. Now, did y'all hear that? He said, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments. Not Moses' law. He said his commandments. Right? That's what he said. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For the power shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. Did y'all hear what I just said? We'll read that again. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. What's in the east? The Middle East, right? Who lives over there? Is it the white man? White man ain't over there. What does it say? All right. Picking up in verse 28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence to their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them. And in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down the great multitude of the stars upon the earth, even their own star. And blood shall be from the sword unto the belly. So much people going to be bleeding, all right? Waist level. And the dung of men unto the camel's hoof, all right? It means people going to be shitting on themselves from the fear. This is in the Middle East now. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon earth. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. And then shall there come great storms from the south, from the north, and another part from the west, and strong winds shall arise from the east, and shall open it. And the clouds which he raised up in wrath, and the stars stirred to cause fear toward the east-west wind, shall be destroyed. The great and mighty clouds shall be lifted up, full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out over every high and eminent place a horrible star, fire, hail, flying swords, and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters. And they shall break down the cities and walls, mountains and hills, trees of the wood and grass of the meadows, and their corn. And they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon, that's Mecca, and make her afraid. Yahawahshi not bullshitting, y'all. All right. Verse 44. They shall come to her and besiege her, star and all wrath shall they pour out upon her. Then shall the dust and smoke go up unto the heaven, and all they that be about her shall bewail her. And they that remain under her shall do service unto them that have put her in fear. And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person, woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom. Thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Talking about these Arabs, man. Right? It's talking about these Arabs. That's what's happening. So, get a precept. Matthew chapter 24. Verse 27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, coming from the scriptures, coming from Matthew, the plagiarized Matthew, right? The plagiarized book of Matthew from Flavius Josephus. For as lightning cometh out of the east, matching with the Apocrypha, all right? The lightning, the chariots, all right? The weaponized chariots. That's going to burn the fuck out of them over there, all right? For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Did he not say that it was his son in the Apocrypha? Yes, he did. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will be eagles. There will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. Where? Over there. All right. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a sound of a great trumpet, and he shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now, once again, Scripture confirms Yahawahshi's dominance in his existence. So, all of y'all that been talking shit about my master, it's going to be a bad day for y'all. And I can't wait. I can't wait till he split y'all motherfucking wigs, man. I can't wait till he twist y'all cats back. I can't wait. All right? So keep it coming. Keep it coming. Keep talking your shit, all right? Keep trying to mislead the Most High's people. And I'm going to be right here to crack it in your motherfucking head every damn time. This is Brother Matt with another one. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahawahshi. All praises due. Thank you, Most High, for your scriptures and for your edification. Prepare for the next lesson on the way. Matthias out. Shalom.